This is a true crime in real time update from True Crime Today and the Hidden Killers podcast.
I'm Tony Brueski, and today we're digging into one of the latest, most unexpected developments in the Vallow Daybell case. Lori, accused of some of the most horrifying crimes imaginable, has now decided that she no longer needs an attorney. She wants to be her own lawyer. This announcement comes as a shock, not just to the public, but to her own son, Colby Ryan, who is struggling to process what this means for her, for him, and for what lies ahead. Colby, in his own words, expressed disbelief. "My mom wants to be her own lawyer. I'm kind of at a loss for words." He revealed that Lori's decision was filed just days after his most recent interview with her was published. It was weird because it was filed like 3 days after. I don't know what to say. The court's response has been clear. Lori will need to undergo a competency evaluation to determine if she's fit to represent herself. She has to get evaluated to see if she's even competent, Colby explains. But his reaction is not just about the legal process. It's personal. "I'll tell you that this is weird. This is some weird stuff." Reflecting on what this means for his relationship with his mother, Colby admitted, "What good has come out of this is me truly understanding and accepting and believing that I have to move forward in my life and that she is no longer a responsibility of mine. I can't save her from herself, and clearly no one else can really talk any sense into her." Colby describes a courtroom moment that still haunts him. "She walked into the courtroom and she smiled at Kay and Larry and Brandon. And that's when I was like, okay, this is a villain arc right here." Lori's decision to represent herself only deepens the emotional rift between her and Colby. I bring this up because she's not really thinking. I don't understand how we got to this point, how she's going to represent herself in this case. In disbelief, he adds, "Does she know about law? She's watched Legally Blonde. Does that count?" Colby reflects on how Lori's choices have forced him to confront the painful reality of their relationship. It just hurts more. It's like you always find a way to make it worse. I feel like she always finds a way to just make it worse. But the most troubling part for Colby is that Lori's actions appear deliberate. She smiled at them like a villain. This is not the person I thought I knew. He struggles to make sense of it all, admitting that her behavior has pushed him toward a new understanding of what lies ahead. "I have to accept that this is my mom. I have to accept that this is the reality. There's a life before, and there's a life after. And now I'm in the life after." The emotional toll becomes even heavier as Colby shares memories of his wedding, a day marred by Lori's actions. She disappeared on the morning of the wedding, left Kelsey and the bridesmaids without their hair finished. Colby also reveals how deeply it hurt him when his sister was not included in the wedding pictures. "I asked my mom, 'Where's my sister?' That broke me. It really broke me." In reflecting on his childhood, Colby acknowledges the struggle to reconcile good memories with painful truths. You try to see the good in people, especially your parents. But at some point, you have to see both sides. It's not that she didn't have good attributes, but there were huge issues. As he processes these emotions, Colby finds himself grappling with Lori's fixation on control. She's trying to take her narrative back, but in this case, it still doesn't make any sense. His final reflection offers insight into the personal journey he's on. The only thing that leads you down this path is continuing to follow Satan, and you have to continue to choose that. The story is far from over. Vallow Daybell's decision to represent herself sets the stage for a legal battle unlike any other. But for Colby, one thing is clear. He has accepted that his future lies in making choices that are different from his mother's, ensuring that the life he builds with his own family will not be defined by her mistakes. After diving into the breaking developments with Colby Ryan, we continue our story by exploring the deeper implications of his mother's decision and the emotional journey he's on. What we're witnessing isn't just a legal maneuver, it's the culmination of years of psychological manipulation, trauma, and loss. Colby makes it clear Lori's attempt to represent herself isn't just bizarre. It's part of a larger pattern, one that has shaped his entire relationship with her. I've realized I have to move forward in my life. She is no longer a responsibility of mine, he shared. This hard-earned acceptance is a key step in breaking free from years of emotional entanglement. Colby doesn't sugarcoat his mother's behavior. She's chosen a path that only worsens the damage. She always finds a way to make it worse, he said. He now recognizes how Lori's actions are rooted in control and manipulation, explaining, I think she's trying to take her narrative back. This need for dominance, whether over the people in her life or the storyline of her trial, drives many of her decisions. There's something else in Colby's words that stands out, a recognition of Lori's deliberate choices. It's not that she didn't have good attributes, he admits, but there were huge issues, and that's the reality I have to come to terms with. For Colby, it's painful to see that his mother's behavior wasn't born entirely out of delusion. There's a calculated element to it, which makes it harder to forgive. Throughout the podcast, Colby emphasizes how his mother's religious beliefs warped over time, leading her further down a destructive path. He stated, the only thing that leads you down this path is continuing to follow Satan, and you have to continue to choose that. In his view, her actions reveal a dangerous commitment to self-destruction, dragging everyone around her into chaos. It's in these moments of clarity that Colby begins to reclaim his life. There's a life before and there's a life after, he reflected. And for him, the future lies in ensuring that he builds a different kind of life, a healthier one for himself, Kelsey, and their growing family. It comes down to choices, Colby explained, adding, everybody has trauma, but is your past going to define your future, or are you going to make a different decision? Ultimately, Colby's story is not just about breaking free from his mother's grip. It's about creating space for healing and growth. His journey reminds us all of the power we have to choose differently, even when it means confronting the darkest corners of our past.
In a world where the darkest secrets lie just beneath the surface.
They said it was an accident, but the evidence says otherwise.
Where hidden killers roam, unnoticed, in the shadows.
I think you would definitely be looking at a blend of toxic, very bad narcissistic personality traits, and they will be vengeful and possibly resort to violence.
Join Tony Brueski as he uncovers the truth behind the most chilling cases.
They said it was an accident, but the evidence clearly says otherwise.
Each episode, we dig deep into the minds of those who commit the unthinkable.
To your point on narcissism, he thinks in his own mind how witty he is.
Yeah.
But he lost that jury. I was done with him in 2 minutes.
From unsolved mysteries to infamous crimes.
Geez, you've just talked about how you've taught yourself how to do everything under the sun. I bet you did a YouTube video, how to best kill somebody with a knife.
Hidden Killers with Tony Brueski takes you where few dare to go.
How does someone with such a dark secret go unnoticed for so long?
With multiple new episodes every single day.
We're not just telling stories, we're seeking justice.
Listen now on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. Just search for Hidden Killers with Tony Brueski.